I'm reminded of every morning, because we all are creatures of habit. Whether you realize it or not, we are all creatures of habit. So every morning, before I go into the office, I stop by Starbucks and I get me the same coffee, no matter what, every time. So when I'm pulling into the drive-thru, the young ladies in the drive-thru, because there's a camera on that drive-thru panel, if they're not looking at the camera when they're inside, they pick up on my voice. So as soon as they hear my voice or they see me on the camera, they automatically get excited. They get excited because they know the first thing I'm going to do is say good morning. Then after I say good morning, I'm going to follow up with, how's your day going? Are you all busy? I'm going to follow up with something, but the truth of the matter is this. They know that when I come to the drive-thru, I'm always in a good mood. They feed off of my energy, ladies and gentlemen. They feed off of my energy because no matter how their day went prior to me getting there, when I come through the drive-thru, they've told me over and over again that I make their day. I make their morning because I'm always in a great mood. I'm always doing something for somebody else, and they feed off of that. They feed off of it. So when I come through the drive-thru and I order the same cup of coffee every day, I pull up to the window and the young lady hand me my coffee. And I always, if it's a new person and they're new and they don't know how to treat me, I say, hey, can I get a stopper? And they hand me a stopper. But there are several occasions to where they were out of stoppers, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you this story for a reason. The reason why I ask for stoppers on my coffee is because I know once I get back out into traffic, there's going to be something that's going to cause me to have to jerk the steering wheel or to slam on brakes or to maneuver in and out of traffic to where it may cause the contents in that coffee to move around. Now, without a stopper, the contents in that cup will move around to the point where it will spill over. And if you've ever had hot coffee land on you, that's not a good feeling. So you will understand that's why I always ask for a stopper. But if they're out of stoppers like they've been before, I know that whatever it is that I'm doing when I'm in traffic, I have to take that cup of coffee into consideration. Now, I know you all are asking and wondering to yourselves, where is he going with this story? I tell you exactly where I'm going with this story, okay? That cup of coffee without a stopper, when I'm maneuvering in and out of traffic or trying to prevent myself from having an accident or causing an accident, the contents are moving around. The contents without a stopper will spill over. And you can take that same cup of coffee and replace it with water. You can replace it with fruit punch. You can replace it with tea. You can replace it with Gatorade. No matter what it is that you replace it with, it still stays the same. The story is still the same, and this is what I want you all to understand. The same contents that are in that cup, whenever I get rattled, that's what spills over. Same scenario when it applies to you. Whatever it is that you're pouring into yourself, whenever life rattles you, that's what's going to spill over. So if you are full of anger, if you're full of jealousy, if you're full of profanity, if you're full of love, if you're full of gratitude, regardless of what it is that you have been filling yourself up with throughout that day or throughout that week, when life decides to move on you, that's what's going to spill over. You have to be cognizant of what it is that you put into yourself. Whatever it is that you pour into you, that is what's going to spill over whenever there's a crisis. Whenever life decides to rattle you, that is what's going to pour over. And when that spills over, that is what you're made of. That is what you've been taking in that whole day or that whole week. Those are the contents that are in you. So you have to be very, very careful about what it is that you're putting or pouring into yourself. Listening to the music that you're listening to. If that's the only kind of music that you hear throughout the day or throughout the evening, and that music is full of profanity, what you think is going to happen when life decides to rattle you? Life will rattle you, ladies and gentlemen. And when it does, whatever you've been pouring into yourself, that's what's going to come out. And it is at that particular time that everyone around you can tell exactly what you've been doing this whole time. Because if you've been filling yourself up with love, no matter how much life rattles you, that's what's going to spill over. You still going to look out for the person's best interest. You still are going to say loving words to that person because that is what you are. That is who you are. That is what's within you. And whatever is within you, that is what without you. That is what will come out. It's very simple. Very simple. Let's not complicate it, okay? Whatever it is that you've been filling yourself up with, that is exactly what's going to spill over. And life will move on you. Life will rattle you. You will get caught in traffic. Somebody will cut you off. Somebody will slam on brakes. And whenever that happens, if all you've been doing is being jealous or hateful or spiteful to other people, that is exactly why you have the road rage that you have. That is exactly why you lash out the way you do. That is exactly why when your kids do something and it's very minuscule, it's not really that big of a deal, you lash out on them and you attack them because that is what you've been filling yourself up with the whole time. You have to be careful about what it is that you're taking in. You have to be careful about the stuff that you're seeing, the stuff that you're exposing yourself to. You have to be careful about the music that you're intaking, what you're listening to on a daily basis. We are creatures of habit. And whatever it is that we listen to over and over again, that is what we become. We become that because the psyche works off of repetition. So if you are consuming bad thoughts, bad ideas, hanging around toxic people, that's what you're going to become because that is what you're pouring into yourself. Be careful about what it is that you're pouring into yourself. Be cognizant of the fact that whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to become you. Just like the saying goes, you are what you eat. You are exactly who you are and what it is that you're intaking on a daily basis. You have to be careful of that. You have to watch that. Nobody's going to watch that for you. You have to watch that for you. You have to say to yourself, this is not becoming of me. And if you're in a situation that's not becoming of you, then you have to rid yourself of that situation. Don't allow yourself to become something that you're not. Because as soon as you are aware that you're slipping, then that's when you know it's time to decide and make a decision. That's when you know it's time to remove yourself from that predicament. Because if you don't remove yourself from that predicament, life is going to move on you. And when life moves on you, that is what's going to spill over. You can't help it. You can't help it. No matter how hard you try, no matter how many stoppers you put, it will eventually spill over. And when it spills over, now you got a bigger mess you got to clean up. Because now you said something that you really didn't mean. Now you did something that you really didn't want to do. And because of that, now you put yourself in a more worse situation than you were in at the beginning. All because you were not watching what you were pouring into yourself. If you pour love, gratitude, and the fact that you want the best for everybody that's around you, when you pour into yourself those kind of things, when life decides to rattle you or shake you up a little bit, that's what's going to come out. That is what you're filled with. So no matter what's going on around you, you're still going to give off that same energy. You're still going to vibrate on that same frequency. You're still going to want the best for whoever it is that's around you, because that's who you are. That is exactly what you're made of. So be careful about what it is that you're pouring into yourself, because whatever it is that you're pouring into yourself will eventually spill over. And once it decides to spill over, that is exactly who you are, because that's exactly who you're displaying at that particular time, and nothing you can do will change that. I am your favorite speaker, Britton Harvest. Hashtag breadcrumbs. Hashtag random acts of kindness, RAK. Hashtag rag motivation. I love y'all.